Now I'm live. Sorry about that. My internet derped out, so I literally had to wait like about 10 minutes for it to reboot. But with that, let's get the show on. Welcome to the soloQue podcast on this, July 25th of 2016. I have not been doing the dates like I was planning on. Said welcome to soloQue podcast, where I try to see if I can carry myself through this on my own. Hopefully I'm not boring or just blabbering. Probably the latter and the former. And it seemed to be more sporadic because I kept planning on doing this on Sunday. But hell, I actually did technically go live before midnight, which is a new one. Again, internet decided to derp out. Anyway, today I'm trying to do more of a shorter podcast because I think the last couple were, last several were like over an hour, which is fine. But I don't know of as much to talk about. I only have like a couple of games I've actually been playing. And I just don't feel like filling out an entire like hour and a half because I don't have a projected goal for this, just whenever it happens. And I said one thing I was playing not this week, but I think it was like technically last week and such. Game called Downwell, a very, how do you say it? It's a short, small kind of honestly, I guess you'd call it a roguelike, but I call it roguelite. Basically, you are a guy, and he has gun boots, and he's falling down a well. I don't know why he has gun boots. I don't know why he wants to fall down a well, but he is. Anyways, the entire thing is made up of a combination of simplistic mechanics, and every button that you do, you use is everything has a dual purpose, right? Or more than one. Only uses 3 buttons, left and right, and jump. Left and right uses movement menu selection. The jump button is, jump, and whenever you're in midair, you fire guns. And whenever you are selecting anything, use that as a confirmation. Also, the side things, all menus, so shops and stuff. You're dropping down, you shoot blocks, you shoot enemies. Certain enemies you can jump on top of. If you jump on top of those enemies, it automatically reloads your boots, allowing you to perform greater combos. And you're collecting gems. And gems allow you to, buy stuff or just add to an overall high score, yada, yada, yada. They're different kind of like play styles depending upon how you unlock. It just alters like how things play. Like one gives you more guns that you can find for upgrades, but then gives you less shops, and just there's a couple of them. There are different palettes, like color things. It's only like 2 colors. Starts off with white and red, and everything's color coded. So if it's like white on top, you can jump on it. If it's red all over or just red on top, you can't. Yeah, and each time you at the end of the level, you get a kind of a particular, I guess, upgrade. And you're progressing down, and I believe there's like a total of 5 technical levels. Each with 3, and I haven't gotten all the way down, because it's actually not that easy depending upon how you play. But it's fun. It's short. Usually goes fast. It's just one of those games you want to play maybe if you want to fill some time out. Not much on it, but I got pointed to it by a channel I think I've mentioned before, Game Maker's Toolkit, which talked about how everything it has is dual purpose, and it's like awesome, because there are a lot of games out there that do just have, here's a particular button and it's used for one thing, and that's a little sad, or one particular mechanic or thing used only once, and it's like, not used once, but not used a whole often, so you got, say, a large portion of what you implement into a game not utilized. And that sucks for games, I think. So it's a very marvelous game. Maybe you might not play for that long, but it's relatively cheap. I think it's like $5, which is fair price. Let's see. Ow. So let's see. Okay, so another thing I want to bring up is that, well, technically it should be released today, but Phantom Brave, a game by Ninpon Ichi Software. Let's see, what do you call it? A company known a lot for their strategy RPGs, such as Desgaia, Makai Kingdom, and even Rhapsody, the musical RPG or musical story. I can't remember what it's exactly called. And yes, it is a tactical RPG where everything is a musical number. Yes, I have played it. It is funny. But yeah, Phantom Brave is one of their first few games. Basic gist, it demos out. I think the actual game has been released, but the gist of the game is technically you play as technically a spirit that is guiding a girl called Morona. They are very bad at explaining it early on, because it's kind of like, here's kind of like an expedition dump. Actually, without the dump, they just start using words. You're a chroma. Chroma is a person who can summon spirits. She is considered to be a possessed chroma. I think all chromas are stigmatized in some way, shape, or form. Actually, let me look this up. Phantom Brave and chroma. Like, it wasn't really explained in the beginning, so wow. 13-year-old doesn't even yeah, like, it's just not, the writing is okay. So actually, I think I was wrong what I was saying, but a chroma is someone paid to exterminate various things, kind of like an assassin. Chromas also exterminate spirits, ghosts, yada yada yada. It seems like a mercenary, some sort of bounty hunter of an adventurer for hire. There's also technically an alternate one called like Chroma Oxide, a person who waits for Chroma to near completion of their assigned job and finishes the last bit. Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah, so it really does not do a good job. It kind of just says, hey, name. I tell you your name, and then we know, no, we don't know who the hell you are. They start saying words, and it's like, that's supposed to mean something, but I'm not really. I do enjoy the game, it's just, they're just very bad at it. You're a chroma. The fuck is a chroma? This does really one of the first things you should never do when making like an RPG or any sort of game. Don't just start throwing terms at a player when they have no idea what the hell they're looking at. Like, if you're going to say that talk about a chroma, have a narrator say chromas are yada yada yada, like adventurers for hire. Tell us that. Don't just say you're a chroma, because I thought it was like literally a person who can talk to spirits. Nope, actually that's just Morona. Anyways, you play this one individual who I think himself was a chroma, but then died. And that aside, sorry. Big tangent, didn't mean to get into there. All we can say is, one, Morona, well, she's a novice, and she's a little bit of a optimist, put it nicely. Like, her problem is, and this is one thing that's kind of repeated throughout, like, the first couple of portions. I don't know how often into the game it goes, but where they say that, where according to her parents told her that, you know, if you be nice to people and yada yada yada, one day people will come to love you. Everyone will come to love you. My problem with that is you shouldn't be waiting on everyone, because that's never going to happen. So what ends up happening is she ends up taking pay cuts, getting walked all over and yelled at and insulted and stuff. So it's like, and every day she's like, remember Ash, who's the other character, I'm sorry I didn't mention him, one day, and you will hear that a lot, one day, and I'm thinking, my God, are you just trying to deny the fact that you are treated like garbage? Like, trust me, it really does feel like, I didn't swap my thing again. shoot. Regardless, what it feels like is she is just making excuses to be beaten up. But that might not be what the game is intending. Does not matter. So it's trying to get into the gameplay. The gameplay is literally strategy RPG, but with a very interesting twist where you can, well, first off, you can create spirits outside of the game for your characters, and some of them can give you, like, particular upgrades, not upgrades, I don't know, things that you need, like healing and items, and blacksmith that can upgrade stuff. I don't know what the word is. It's like, how do you get shops? Well, you hire people who are like blacksmiths, and they do that. They can also go into battle. And the way you do battle is, you as Morona go and find an object, specific objects, and you can confine a spirit to them. And those spirits are, able to interact from there. They only have a certain amount of time, but they're allowed to do attacks. And depending upon what you put them in, they get buffs or debuffs, and there's a lot to it, but just think about it like this. You are a little girl that has, no attack power herself, so she uses spirits to do her bidding. It's an interesting game. It really is, and I did enjoy it. Just some of the story elements are like, bleh. They're bleh, okay? I mean, maybe it's a nice story in some cases, but again, it's, like, not really executed as well as other games. But something else I can talk about that I have been playing, and I've actually been streaming it, and yes, my streaming has kind of gone up a little bit. It's called Desgaia. Well, Desgaia PC, which is literally just Desgaia Hour of Darkness, the first one, which came, I believe, let's see, it came after Phantom Brave, but I believe it also came after Makai Kingdom. No, actually, I think it came up before Makai Kingdom. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry, just have to get that out of the way, because I keep on focusing on details that do not matter. So, I think it's a fun game. It has, kind of story-based, that's sort of like a visual novel, except it's not so much talking. You don't really make choices. It's a strategy RPG with very interesting mechanics. One, you create characters, and you do a whole... Fuck, I don't even know how to talk about it all, because it's a large game. Think of it like this: it's a grinder's paradise. Okay, it's not bad grinding. Like, bad grinding is when you do a whole bunch of you go through a large amount of time, effort, and energy, and you get very little back from it. This thing actually accelerates it, where it gives you points where you can actually take one character and be like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, now he's from level 1 to level 5, level 10. It's fast. It's expedited. Especially if you find the best areas, then you can get them up really high. And the level cap is 999. I don't know, it just has a lot of interesting things. Weapon mastery, which that's how you learn new abilities. Just side note, special characters like main characters and monsters can all learn special abilities unique to them, as well as like weapon-based abilities. I personally wish that each class had like at least 2 of his own personal abilities on top of weapon abilities, but I digress. It has a lot to it. It's like you can go in and get your characters up to quad 9 levels, and then transmigrate them or reincarnate them all the way back down to level 1, and then get them back farther. And when you do that, you also have them gain bonuses, so you can pump up their stats all over again, so they become stronger and stronger and stronger. You can level up items, and the story itself is fun. The first one features my most favorite character in the world, Flown, the angel. She's adorable. And she's the character that ends up kind of creating a lot of change. Or she's like a driving point of the series, which is fun. I don't know what else to say about this particular game. Because I do love the other series, like 2, even 3 and 4, even though I don't know everybody like that. I did just buy the For the 10th anniversary, they decided to make Desgaia D2, or which is like Darkness or Dimension 2 or something, which is, I don't know what the subtitle was again, but it's, wow, I am skipping over a lot. So this is a direct sequel to Desgaia, Hour of Darkness, but every other game is more or less an anthology. Like, it's technically a different series of characters that take place in the same sort of universe. But the difference is that each place takes place within a netherworld, but each netherworld is not like the same exact netherworld. There's like there are thousands of them, almost like different planets, more or less. Regardless, I love the series because each one does something relatively different and it stands on its own. Again, Grinder's Paradise, because it is literally made for you to kind of not that deep dip your feet in, because you'll probably get knee deep with the story, but then there's like cycles where you can play through the story and cycle through to level up characters and stuff. But then you can, in order to get like the best items, you literally have to buy like the highest item you can buy and then go into the item first, for this thing called the item world, which allows you to traverse it, which powers up items, and that itself is just crazy. But you go in there, you can get to the highest level or highest point and steal one of the best items from them, and then I think you have to go into that and steal. It's crazy. It's ridiculously crazy. It's awesome. I enjoy it. I never get that far, because at one point you literally go from like dealing like 10 damage to 100 damage to 1000 damage to dealing like 10 billion damage. I'm going to continue playing that. I'm planning on finishing it on stream. I do not know just yet if I plan to. I might decide just to stream Desgaia D2 when it comes, but I don't want to forget about Desgaia because I've got a lot of games that I have not actually finished. Twilight Princess. But I digress. So that was that. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about My Hero Academia, so give me a moment. I am going to be putting up my spoiler warning tag, so anybody who doesn't want to hear about the most recent chapter. Okay, sorry, give me a second. And there. Okay, so let's see, I don't know if I did anything for the previous chapters, but the majority of it was they were checking out each other's rooms, looking at the males, looking at the females. Well, the males had like some funny ones. We didn't get to see some of the characters, like Bakugo and Suyu, unfortunately, but got to see some of them, and some of them are nice. Some of them got like just a panel. They did get development. Hooray! Then they're like saying, "Hey, everyone's going to be taking this exam for getting a provisional hero license, and now in order to get ready for that, you need to be able to make super moves." So that's what 100 kind of focused on. It sort of shifted some things around. Big plot points are, one, they talked about here's where we're going to be doing a boot camp, because summer's still going on apparently. I didn't realize that, but yeah, summer's still kind of going on, so they're going to kind of do a forced boot camp that they were trying to do but got so rudely interrupted by villains. But yeah, they were going to do that, use like 10 days to make super moves. Also, apparently the Heroes exam, it says only 5% of people actually pass, which means wow. Or at least the provisional. My question is there like a final exam, and what is the success rate? What is the graduation rate of UA, right? Because what if they don't graduate on year 3? That's scary. Do they have to do other certifications to be heroes? Wow, that's something I never thought of before. I just thought of that now. regardless. So, yeah, they go through it. Some characters going through here. We learn that X characters are, either just starting to learn out or have to kind of go from the bottom up. All Might pops in and he literally just tells Izuku, stop trying to stop trying to emulate him. Well, he doesn't say that in exact words, but Izuku's like, what was he trying to say? He's trying to say that, dude, you use his smashes all the time, like they're kind of like, attached to All For One, but you don't have to, or you can make your own smashes. I really wish he would make his own smashes. Izuku, though, is worried because they also did say that, you should also go to the support department. They have like a workshop that they go in and, kind of like work out in, and they can help you make your costumes better to suit your quirk, which is pretty useful because, yeah. And that makes sense. Izuku considers doing that. Quick thing about All Might, though, is he literally is, doing a little bit better to, I guess, give advice to the students, but he also has a book in the back of his pocket saying even the most stupid person or something can be a teacher. Aizawa sees this and it's just hilarious. So yeah, he's trying to improve. But yeah, Izuku goes to this workshop, and it's a fun workshop. It has like a sign where an I is a wrench and an O is it's a studio. So, and the O is literally a cog. I'm like, oh, that's cute. At the end, I know Ochako and Ida are there because they're also going there, and then we get reintroduced to an old character. First explosion. As soon as Izuku's about to open the door, the hero called Power Loader. Apparently, he's in charge of the support department characters, which is kind of awesome to think about. And we're reintroduced to Mei Hatsume. Now, the last part that to some people bothers some people, but doesn't really bother me, is that she ends up landing on top of Izuku. Now, just kind of like on top, but not really too far up the... I don't know. Like, it's really framed that she's kind of like just lands on his chest, but then she lifts up and said, oh, you're, Izuku. Not Izuku, but you're that guy from the festival, because she probably doesn't remember his name because they haven't seen each other, most likely. But what ends up happening is the next frame after that is literally a shot of her cleavage, because she's wearing her work clothes. Like, one of them is what you call like a ribbed tank top, which makes sense if you're like an engineer or a mechanic of sorts. You probably won't want to wear something that's very that's like suffocating. Odds are, if she was a guy, she probably wouldn't be wearing a top at all. But I digress. And Izuku has just this like really weird, just like distorted face, and it's like, like pointing out boobs. Last shots of Ochako. People get like insulted because they're like, I'm disappointed because this is fan service, and I'm thinking, how many times have they done fan service in this series, or close to fan service? Like 3 times. One where after not an examination, but not an event. What do you call it? A class where they had to change their costumes, where Mineta finds a peephole and he ends up getting his eye poked by Jiro, girl with the headphones. You don't get to see anything. You just get to see them like kind of like covering up, saying, "What the fuck?" Another one where they're in after they get to the camp that they were at. They since it was literally took them like 4 hours or something to get to where they were going, and they had to bathe because they're probably freaking tired. Again, Mineta's like climbing up the walls. He gets knocked down by the kid that was there, Kota. It's like 5 or something, 5 or 6, 4 or 5 or 6, I don't know. But yeah, he looks over. They're like, "Thank you," and some of the characters like Ochako are like covering up still, But you got some like Mina. She's still like most of her body's covered up, but she's kind of like not in the water fully. Thumbs up in the air, like he falls over because boobs. But it's like everything served a purpose up to that point. It wasn't just that for the sake of that. It was literally a panel. There was no like emphasis on the body parts. Now, even though this did kind of have a close up, I feel like that was more or less framing where Izuku, where his eyes unfortunately laid. Where he started to, look. Why was he looking at boobs? Because one, May is actually a busty character, one of the few, which I'm actually happy because there is variation in breast size in this series. And odds are this is the closest I've ever been to a girl, like in that particular situation, where like right up against, like, odds are he's probably freaking the fuck out. So I don't see the problem. I don't see there's any reason. If anything, it might not suit the purpose that the author might have for the next chapter. I don't know. May's not bothered by it. Izuku's like freaking out because boobs are touching his body now. And he's like, and I can understand because he's a bashful individual. I don't know. One last thing, there has been more theories, and I think one that is now gaining far more traction about a traitor in the midst of the school, where the common one was the invisible girl Hagakure, but now we've got one that's getting a lot more I guess you call credibility, because it seems to just make more sense. I feel like a lot of it is really just people look really hard for something, and something that doesn't have like overwhelming evidence, or something that's like, well, scientifically, I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like it fits, but maybe that's just because you want it to fit so bad that even if it's scientific, that you could just probably think, well, that wouldn't work. The lightning doesn't work electricity doesn't work underground. Might not be the case because it's still a manga. But the most recent one I've seen a lot of is Kaminari, and it kind of makes some sense, but again, I think a lot of it might just be he's framed in a particular way, but it's not really bad. I don't know. It's a lot more interesting than saying the invisible girl did it, but now everyone's kind of like saying, oh, it's him. I'm thinking, okay, can we kind of like get another one? Just another one. I find this interesting. I don't really believe it's anybody. I think it would be awesome if it was literally nobody. But that's just me. Because, again, I like the idea of it being a red herring, where it's like, it's a student. Because it doesn't have to be a student. Because it's not just, oh, they mentioned it might be a student, so it has to be a student. I don't think so. If they do a good mystery, you can make it where it looks like it's a student, and then not. Okay, so let's see, let's turn off where is it? Spoiler tag, because that's the end of that segment. I may have spent more time than I anticipated for that one. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up for a little bit. So personally, I have had some video ideas. I'm not going to share them right now because even though no one actually watches this, and I know no one watches this, but even though no one watches this, I do know that as soon as I put it out there, it puts a self-conscious kind of thing on my head, and now I don't want to do it. And even though I haven't really started on any of them, I want to be able to at least think, I'm going to start doing it, and no one's going to expect anything from me. And that is A-okay. But if I start talking about it, there might be a possibility of, oh no, now I feel pressured to actually do it. So, I've got ideas. I got these ideas because I took, I don't know what they're called, courses, so-called boot camps, YouTube certifications, boot camps. I've been to boot camps, so I don't know. The funny thing about it is it's about how to I think it says upgrade your gaming channel. Oh my god, it's cheesy, and a lot of the videos are like, really silly, but it kind of gave me some information. A lot of it's just stuff you can really just find if someone just randomly tells it to you, but whatever. It was decent. I got a print off of it. The idea is I should probably start making multiple videos, like take a week or something, and make several videos of whatever content, but release them on a weekly schedule. So consistently work on them and then release them. I feel like that would probably be the most beneficial. There's a possibility I might do a gaming channel. Or I guess you could just say a playing channel, whatever. Because a gaming channel is kind of what I'm aiming for, but not necessarily Let's Play. But I might do Let's Play just because, I'll be honest, I'm having trouble just getting myself off the ground. But that's to be seen. I'm not making any promises just yet. But with that, I'm going to be closing this up at the end. There's that awkward wording I have again. I am going to be closing up the stream soon, so if you want to follow me, you can follow me at DRedBaron for YouTube, DRedBaron90 Twitter. I probably will get back on after this and start streaming more Desgaia because I do want to get next series of events done. But other than that, I'm going to be wrapping this up now. Wait a second. I wanted to leave this on a particular note. I didn't have something set up for this, so where is it? I always want to leave on like some form of music. So OC, I'm gonna go open up OC Remix. And I'm gonna go leave you with music.